Talk about another concern. Corn, soybean, wheat conditions are all deteriorating, and JP Morgan is warning of a potential global food crisis. Could this be the beginning of that, Scott?
Well, they say it is. I mean, they'll make the argument that we're already starting that. We've had some trouble this year with our crops. Mother Nature has not been complying as well. It's not a disaster by any means, but it's just not what we thought we were going to be getting. But the real key here, for the first time in a long time, Ashley, is the fact that we've got a problem with logistics. So weather has taken a back seat. Logistics around the world has slowed up. I mean, we've heard about the Straits of Hormuz, but we've got another issue in the Black Sea and the Sea of Azov with the Kerch Straits. We've got problems there with wheat, and both of them have problems with fertilizer.
Israel is a critical ally of ours, and I think most people understand the necessity of this funding. They're fighting for their very existence. They're the only stable democracy in the Middle East. I mean, of course, for those of us who are believers, it's a biblical admonition to stand with Israel. We will, and they will prevail as long as they're with them. And this is an important, very important symbolic gesture and a very important replenishment of their stockpiles, for example, of the Iron Dome. The reason they shot down all those drones and missiles in the last attack by Iran is because we assisted with that. I think the American people understand the importance of that.
Bitcoin marching higher. That, in turn, is helping the crypto stocks. Is that right, Taylor? Yeah. I mean, Bitcoin up $245.
Yeah, I mean, this is after a massive three-day rally last week. You had shares of Coinbase, Robinhood, for example, all surging, 22% last week alone. So you're getting some stability to slightly higher today. There's a few things going on. You have sort of the Treasury announcement of Operation Twist, yield curve control. That sort of helps push into risk assets. That weaker dollar, you're seeing Bitcoin is maybe a hedge to some of that dollar weakness. And again, we're waiting on a September 15th procedural vote for the Clarity Act. So all of those forces helping Bitcoin.
Hey guys, Carlos Cortez here with another episode of Scriptures in Wallstreet. I hope you are doing well. Wanted to just say my disclaimer here. Everything on this podcast is meant for information and education purposes only. I am a licensed financial advisor, but everything on this podcast is not investment advice. If you would like financial advice, give us a call, 813-448-3446, or visit us at cortezwm.com. With that being said, we are here basically talking about $40 trillion in debt, and is it a good time to buy silver? Why is it that you told us to sell our silver earlier this year, and now you're saying we should be buying it? That's not what I'm saying. I said that you should be very careful with silver, and you should consider selling a good 10 to 25% of your silver when it was at 119. Many of you did, many of you didn't. I got a lot of heat for that and from that, only to figure out, 2 or 3 months later, here we are. We had from that point, 2 or 3 months later, you saw silver go from all the way from 119 to $64, and people were devastated. People had money in gold IRAs and silver IRAs, and it really, really destroyed their retirement plans. Let's not make that you this year. So there's something that I want to talk about that most people, they start asking, when should I buy silver? What is it, that you look for? And one of the things that I want to make sure that you understand is that there's no buy signal or sell signal on silver that, there's a crystal ball. There's never a crystal ball. And I want to show you a different number that some of you don't even know. And most Americans probably never heard of it, but it's not the Dow. It's not the S&P 500. It's not the NASDAQ. It's not Bitcoin. It's not the federal funds rate. It's not inflation rate. It's the gold to silver ratio. And here's how simple it is. Basically, what you want to do is, if gold was trading at $4,500 and silver, for instance, was at 75, you would be roughly at a 60-to-1 ratio. So you basically take the cost of gold and divide it into the price of silver. And it's very simple. And so here's what it really, really gets interesting is that precious metals don't really, professionals don't really ask if silver is going up. They look at the actual silver to gold ratio, and ask, is silver cheap? relative to gold, because we understand that silver is such an essential part of what is to come with AI and the dollar obviously coming down, and the data centers and the military wars, geopolitical reasons. There's so much value in silver. We totally get that. If you're listening to this podcast, you're my people. You understand we're pretty much yoked at the hip here. We agree spiritually, financially, obviously academically, geopolitically. But historically, when that ratio does come high and silver is cheap relatively to gold, silver has become literally the most expensive relation to gold. And during the pandemic, remember, the ratio was 120 to 1. It was completely lopsided. Silver was getting destroyed, and the fear was everywhere. And it was that when it was a great time to buy, when there's a lot of fear, and the VIX volatility was skyrocketed, silver was compressed. And what actually happened is silver recovered dramatically, and that ratio went back to a normal number. And so what looked terrible is because people didn't want to buy it because it just looked bad. And that's when you should be buying it. And right now, I think we have one of those moments. That's human nature. It's human nature. Oh, silver's been boring. It's been at 55 to 65 for the past 6 months. And it reminds me of this scripture, right? Proverbs 20:14 says, it's no good, it's no good, it's no good. But the buyer goes and boasts about the purchase. That's what Proverbs 20:14 says. So don't be that person. And also another reiterations, it says, it is not, saith the buyer, but when it goes his way, then he boasts. It's human nature. So basically they act cocky when it goes his way, but lies about it when it's low, knowing that he's unsure about it. So don't let that be you, is what I'm getting at. If you haven't heard about Green Money Solutions, let me tell you, a lot of retirees, they stick their money in their 401ks, they stick their money in their IRAs and their Roths, and they rely on stocks and bonds, even precious metals, to grow their retirement, to get them to their retirement destinations. You need principal protection. You need an account that has ability to protect your money, grow with the index that you're currently already following with 100% risk. Now you have a principal protected account that will grow with equity-like returns, and more importantly, withdraw those funds while your account accumulates. If that is something that you're interested in, Green Money Solutions is a national brand that will protect your retirement. Over the past 22 years, our clients have successfully implemented this strategy to create a secure and safe retirement. Most advisors don't have access to this because they don't get paid to offer green money. All you have to do is go to greenmoneysolutions.com, fill out the information, and let's just have a conversation. So that's basically the human nature. We want the deal, but we don't recognize the value until everybody else recognizes it. And that's one of the greatest mistakes investors make. We call this the bro investors. They buy the excitement instead of buying value. And so look what's happening around us. The U.S. has crossed $40 trillion in national debt. The stock market's about to reach another record territory. Bitcoin has been ripping. Gold has been extremely strong. And silver has just made some major moves. I would even argue they bought some. We have some buying setups right now. And investors are basically trying to ask the same question. Where do I put my money? Do we know if that's the right question to be asking right now? Maybe the first question should be, what job do I need my money to do? Because silver has a job, stocks have a job, and cash has a job. Green money has a job, as well as Bitcoin has a job. The problem is when you expect one asset to do everything. And so let me give you the framework for silver. You see, when the gold to silver ratio is extremely elevated, I'm interested. But when we're talking about 80 and 90 and $100 ounces of silver for an ounce of gold, my antennas go up, because historically those levels have represented unusual relatively valuations. So that basically does not guarantee silver is about to go up. The ratio is not a crystal ball. However, silver can fall like gold and Bitcoin, and they both can rise. Markets go up and down, and they're irrational. Many times That's why I don't worship indicators. I use them as tools. But as Ecclesiastes 11:12 says, give a portion to 7, also to 8, for thou knowest not what evil shall be upon the earth. Not everything in one basket, not everything is silver, not everything is stocks, not everything in Bitcoin, not everything in cash. Diversification. Why? Because thou knowest not. We don't even know what tomorrow is going to bring, so we need to be diversified. You don't know. You don't know if Jerome Powell is going to say something or Kevin Walsh is going to say something. Wallstreet doesn't know. And the guy on YouTube with thumbnail saying silver $500 next month doesn't even know either, especially with no financial backing. So what does the prudent investor do? We prepare, we diversify, we accumulate assets from different sources, different purposes, and we stop trying to predict tomorrow with every dollar we own. And so this is why I love the 3 colors of money. We have red money. This is going to be your market-based money. This is going to be money that is in stocks and precious metals and crypto and real estate. And recently for some investors, airplanes, right? So things go up and down in value. They have the ability to make a lot of growth. They have the ability to perform, but they also have no downside protection. And potentially Bitcoin and other speculative assets are for people who understand that volatility. And like I said, red money can create tremendous wealth, but red money also fluctuates. And so this is why we have green money. And I just got off the phone with a client in Connecticut, and he said, you know, if the market goes down, how do you make money? How are you not seeing that the crash is coming? He was like, there's definitely going to be a crash. This AI is going to crash. I said, well, yeah, eventually it will. There's regulatory issues too. We're starting to see it now. Facebook just announced that they're settling with the State Department $16 billion for Internet Safety Act. And now you see the UK coming out with new laws in their parliament, basically saying that they're going to protect children online. So they're already saying that the social media is killing the children, and there's an act on it. And so Facebook just got sued for over $16 billion. And these changes are being made. The government can nationally consulting from March to May 26, one of the largest engagement exercises. The results showed overwhelming public demand for action, with 9 in 10 parents backing a social media ban for under 16, and 2/3 of young people agreeing under 16 should not be allowed to use at least some social media platforms. These changes reset the rules so that children are protected from the platforms' online features that create the most harm. And so they have these bans coming. I say that because AI will go through a certain ban as well. This is always what happens when there's a lot of oligopoly businesses. The FTC gets involved. When companies come too big to control, they get smacked by the FTC. Of course, if there's another hidden agenda, that is also up for debate too. But the fact of the matter is that AI will go through a regulatory event where it will just crush it. And so when we have all of our eggs in this basket saying, oh yeah, AI is going to go and quantum's going to do it, guys, there's going to be so much regulatory framework that re-levels the surfaces, like we saw in communications. We saw with the telephonic companies, right? The utilities. We see all this as this new infrastructure comes through. Be very cautious of it. So we cannot put all of our eggs in one basket, because this will happen. And this will be the Achilles heel, is what I predict. If you haven't heard about Green Money Solutions, let me tell you, a lot of retirees, they stick their money in their 401ks, they stick their money in their IRAs and their Roths, and they rely on stocks and bonds, even precious metals, to grow their retirement, to get them to their retirement destinations. You need principal protection. You need an account that has ability to protect your money, grow with the index that you're currently already following with 100% risk. Now you have a principal protected account that will grow with equity-like returns, and more importantly, withdraw those funds while your account accumulates. If that is something that you're interested in, Green Money Solutions is a national brand that will protect your retirement. Over the past 22 years, our clients have successfully implemented this strategy to create a secure and safe retirement. Most advisors don't have access to this because they don't get paid to offer green money. All you have to do is go to greenmoneysolutions.com, fill out the information, and let's just have a conversation. Which leads me to my next point, is that we're putting all this money in red money and we don't have a backstop. I got off the phone with another client and they just wanted some safety in their portfolio. They're getting older, they're about to retire, and they're out up north, and their advisor is telling them, hey, buy these mutual funds, buy this variable annuity if you want guaranteed income, which is still red money. And they haven't talked about like the fees. And so if you're older or you're pre-retiree in your 50s and 55s, there's things called guaranteed income. And these things can be dangerous because what happens is, I was explaining that this is like a bicycle going on training wheels, like you have training wheels on it, versus riding a regular bike and you're going to your local pizza shop or sandwich shop to pick up a sandwich, and you decide to ride a bike. Are you going to put training wheels to go to your sandwich shop to get lunch? I don't think you would, because you've been riding a bike for so long, and it will slow you down, and it'll just create what's called a drag. Well, these guaranteed income products are guaranteeing people money, and it's almost like financial goislop. Like, it's really bad, because what happens is you get dragged into this portfolio. You pay these fees of 1%. You pay mutual fund fees of another 1.25%. Then you pay what's called a death benefit and income rider fee and a mortality expense fee. And next thing you know, you're at close to daggone 4%. The average is about 3.65. So if you have one of those contracts, let's say a guaranteed income, it's coming at a cost. You put training wheels, when you've been riding a bike for 20 years, you attach training wheels to your bike, going to the same destination we're all going to, for the name of having a guarantee. Guys, do not fall victim to that. Because in my professional experience, if the S&P 500 is going up 75% of the time, and we can capture 50 to 70% of those gains, why on earth would you need a guaranteed income when we can generate the 4 to 7% based off the index? If we don't have those returns, then we got bigger issues than money. So the guaranteed income products are not good for anybody unless you're like 89 years old, you don't have time, and you truly are willing to give up your principal for an exchange of income, because when you pass away, there's nothing to your beneficiaries because you signed up for a guaranteed income. And this is a trap. This is a trap that people fall into. And I want to make sure that you don't buy these guaranteed income products that are just funding you the same amount of money forever for the rest of your life. Let me ask you this, is $5,000 today for the rest of your life the same as $5,000 a month 30 years from now, 20 years from now, even 10 years from now? Would you be happy with $5,000 a month, knowing that your purchasing power and inflation is going to destroy that $5,000? We see it locally. My wife was at a donut shop, and a local donut company that was very dear to the Clearwater community closed up shop due to inflation. Could not keep up with the financial economic pressures of inflation. You know, the CPI index as well as the PPI index has completely gone off the rails. And when those businesses cannot get goods at a bulk rate and their cost is going up, it gets passed on to the buyer, as well as the lease and the tenant, them being a tenant, the lease goes up. They just cannot keep up. The profit margins are just not there. And it's sad because today was the day that they closed shop. And so we're starting to see that across the board in America, where it's more important to worry about inflation and Israel and Taiwan and Ukraine. Like, if your church is still trying to send money to Ukraine, go find a new church. There's so much work to be done in America. We don't need that political wokeness in a church. Times are different right now. It's time to make a change. It's time to be bold about what you believe in and put your money where your values are at. And so when we have this conviction, we can start investing properly that matches your values. But going back to silver, I wanted to show you a quick chart real quick. Here we are with silver. Notice that I got a buy signal here. It reached the all-time low. The silver to gold ratio is roughly about 60, 65. And it's a good time to get in. Like we're starting to, it's not like the optimal time, but it is a decent buy zone area as silver's trading around 68. And once it hits this moving day average, we're going to get a green box somewhere around here. It's like a yellow traffic light. It's like a simile. Like it basically will tell us, hey, it's about to hit the 200-day moving average, and there's going to be a blue box printed here. And that blue box, typically when we get it, it just, boom, it goes up. So there's a lot of momentum, huge momentum going into silver at these price points. You see it's been red this whole time, and notice it's starting to come up. And so when we do have the momentum hit a certain low, it generally pops back up. Last time it hit this low was back in December, and then we start to see some growth here. So again, nothing to put all your eggs in one basket. I'm just pointing out the fact that it's starting to look good. Silver is starting to look really good right here as a re-entry point to get back in, because this one has legs. Now, could it go back to 119? I'm not saying that. But what it could do is it could hit this next zone. I'll show you the next zone. There's a zone right here at 80. At $80, and there's another zone around 96. So we potentially could be looking at 80 to 96 on the next bull run. Granted, the dollar has to continue going down short term, as it has been. And we'll take a look at the dollar real quick. So here we are. We see the dollar continue to come down. We have sell signals. We have a death cross literally happening right now. So the dollar will continue to go down. So yeah, it's looking good for gold and silver. Now, if we're looking at gold, here's gold. It is down a little bit today. The average trading range of gold is about $100. So it can move about $100 a day. But look at our blue cross here. It already spiked up. So 45.94. Before our blue cross, it was around 4,300. So we should see gold just spike up again after it's breathing right here. But yes, the dollar goes down, gold and precious metals go up. So there's a little update for you guys. Now be very cautious. This is not something I would put my whole retirement in. It's just an observation. It's just something that you should always have readily available physically in case something does happen. But also, if you're making money and you're keeping it as a hedge, then keep it as that. Keep it as a hedge. Don't make it a retirement vehicle. If you want a retirement vehicle, I would highly consider Green Money Solutions. Green Money Solutions is a place where your money could be protected. It is a place where you can make money off of the index returns like the NASDAQ, the S&P, the Russell 2000, the Bitcoin index. We literally can track these indices and lock in profits every single year if your account shows a gain. If your account shows a gain, those gains get locked in as your new principal. And now you have the ability to grow your asset. You can take money out up to 10% a year. And that money actually goes right to your bank account in the form of a check or direct deposit. Electronically, you can do it every single month. Just stay under 10%. And what's beautiful about these accounts is that they're tax deferred and they go right to your account. They're great for retirees. They're great for young people. Maybe you're 25, 30 years old and you got an extra 20, 30 grand laying around. Put that away, and now you got a full retirement plan. By the time you're 60 years old, you should have a couple $1 million if you don't even touch it and let it grow with the index, because you never, ever have any losses and there's no fees. So if you're willing to give up some of the upsides of the index to protect you on a downside, the Green Money account is suitable for you. So if that's what you're looking for, then give us a call, 813-448-3600. 818-447-3446, or you can visit us at CortezWM.com. You can find out more information at greenmoneysolutions.com. If you haven't heard about Green Money Solutions, let me tell you, a lot of retirees, they stick their money in the 401ks, they stick their money in their IRAs and their Roths, and they rely on stocks and bonds, even precious metals, to grow their retirement, to get them to their retirement destinations. You need principal protection. You need an account that has ability to protect your money, grow with the index that you're currently already following with 100% risk. Now you have a principal protected account that will grow with equity-like returns, and more importantly, withdraw those funds while your account accumulates. If that is something that you're interested in, Green Money Solutions is a national brand that will protect your retirement. Over the past 22 years, our clients have successfully implemented this strategy to create a secure and safe retirement. Most advisors don't have access to this because they don't get paid to offer green money. All you have to do is go to greenmoneysolutions.com, fill out the information, and let's just have a conversation. So the whole thing is, yes, silver is a good time to buy right now. If you're looking for a place to buy silver because of the $40 trillion debt, then you can go to our affiliate, Cornerstone Asset Metals, and you can speak to my good friend Terry. Basically, call 888-747-3309. Let them know I sent you there. Here's their website. If you're interested, just give them a call, 888-747-3309. I trust these guys due to the fact that they're on the same page as us. They are a really, really good company that is faith-based as well as ethical. You're not going to get screwed over by a lot of these people that call, from the Fox Business or other podcasters, and they charge you 25-30% on the buy side as well on the sell side. So give Cornerstone a call if you're interested in buying silver. You can actually set up a monthly savings plan if you don't have a lot and you want to start building wealth there. You could do that as well. I don't recommend it for all your money. Remember, it is red money, and you should always have 6, 7, 8 different options, different pots. We can create those options for you. Just give us a call, 813-448-3446, or visit us at CortezWM.com. Guys, with that being said, I love y'all. Feel free to email me if you have any questions. info@CortezWM.com. Also, don't forget to get your peptides from GetMeLeanUSA.com. You can subscribe to them, get 10% off. It comes right to your month. You can cancel anytime. They're animal and plant-based peptides that will help you lose weight, stay sleeping better, and focus better, as well as build muscle, something we all want to do at any age. So go to GetMeLeanUSA.com and let them know I sent you, and enjoy those peptides. I've lost a ton of weight. I also have a new company coming out next week. I will be talking more about that, and I'm really excited about this new affiliate that we're going to be promoting. So with all that being said, guys, I'm out of here. I got to go pick up my son from school and go to hockey. Well, God bless you, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye. So how many times have we gotten lost in the minutia of the everyday life? We've gotten fat, we've gotten lazy, we've gotten complacent, not just in our faith, but also our fitness, maybe our finances, maybe our marriage, maybe our family. But we've gotten complacent, and we constantly need to continue to grow. And one of the things I was weak at was in my fitness. As a former athlete, I thought I had it all. My ego got in the way. I'm like, I'll do it later. I'll do it later. Up until now, I have been able to focus on my fitness. For those of you who've been following me for 3 or 4 years, you understand that I've gained a lot of weight. I've used the excuse of having 4 kids, a marriage, a business, helping out at church, all these excuses. And I keep putting myself in the back burner. This is deadly. And what I love about this company, what I love about taking ownership, is that GetMeLeanUSA.com has the ability to introduce natural, groundbreaking peptides. What your body demands, what your body needs to release those fat stored cells, to build muscle, to gain your physical being back to where it's naturally supposed to be. We're not talking about Big Pharma saying we're going to come out with the weight loss drug. We're not talking about losing muscle. We're talking about gaining muscle, gaining your physique back, controlling your appetite, giving you the edge that you need to help you get your body back in check the way God intended it to be, by using his resources with America First products, with America First company that aligns and believes in what you believe in. Introducing GetMeLeanUSA.com. Get in. This is going to be groundbreaking, huge business opportunity, as well as a huge groundbreaking technology that is going to change the landscape. So I know good things before I see it, and I highly recommend you get in. All you got to do is click the link below and get you some fit, get you some lean, and get fit and get lean. This is not going to do everything. Of course, diet and exercise, you continue your walking, continue your protein intake, but man, does it make it a whole lot easier to get in shape. Look at me, I've lost 60 pounds, but this is actually fundamentally a great recipe to get back in shape. And I can personally attest to the amazing effects of this product. So go to GetMeLeanUSA.com. You won't regret it. You can cancel anytime. They're affordable, and yet they're effective. And you are supporting our show. You're supporting yourself. You're supporting a mission. There is an affiliate program attached to it if you would want to share it with your friends and family. There's a whole nother opportunity there. But more importantly, let's get your fitness back in check. God bless you. Carlos Cortez here, signing out.